Dr. Janson has almost 30 years experience as a physical therapist. She is board certified in geriatric physical therapy and is currently practicing at the George Washington Hospital Outpatient Rehabilitation Center. And now let me turn it over to Dr. Janson. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I hope everybody had a great summer, and I am happy to be back for the fall series of our exercise class. Hope no one had any falls over the summer, and hope that we can continue to work on exercises to keep everybody strong and to reduce the risk of falls going forward. I had hoped to have a little better feel with music within the presentation, and I'm still having some issues with that. So today's session, unfortunately, we will not have music with it, but hopefully going forward we will. And certainly if you use the recordings to do some exercise, in between the monthly sessions, I would recommend putting some music on. It's just more fun. It's just easier to move and go through some exercises if you've got some music in the background, and it can be, music of your choice. So for the session today, we should be finished by about 3:20, so that we have a little time for questions at the end. We're going to focus on kind of a warm-up. We're going to focus on strengthening exercises because we need strength if we want to be balanced. And then we're going to do some specific balance challenges. As last time, I don't know if anybody's new this time around, but feel free, if anything, you're not comfortable doing it standing, I'll try to mention alternatives to do things seated. If you're not comfortable doing it without holding on to something, please hold on to a chair, or if you have a walker or a rollator, it's always good to be standing next to something just in case you feel unsteady. And if you have pain with any of the exercises, then please stop, and you can let me know, if you need more modifications down the road if things are too painful. All right, so having said that, we're going to start with a little bit of a warm-up, and we're going to start with just rolling our shoulders backward, and we can do this just sitting in the chair. And let's do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to make sure you have nice upright posture. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to do a little shoulder or neck roll. And so we're going to just go forward, sideways, backward, and the other side. And not too fast. We don't want to make anybody dizzy. Good. Let's try rolling the other direction. Good. All right. Nice job. All right. Now we're going to reach one arm up to the ceiling, stretch, really try to touch the ceiling. And then the other arm, reach, big stretch up. And right arm, big stretch. And left. Good. 3. Big stretch up. Good. Let's do 2 more of these. Big stretch. And big stretch. Okay. And now we're going to do what we call a cross body stretch. So this one we're going to let's start with our right arm out to the side. We're going to just stretch across and back. And so the idea is to twist the body. Good. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. We'll do 1 more to this side. Perfect. And let's take the other arm out and we're going to go the other direction. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 2 more. And 8. Very good. And then I'd like to do some marching in place just to get our heart rate up a little bit. Recent research in the physical therapy world has found that if we do any training where we're trying to influence how the brain controls our movement, if we do that with our heart rate up a little bit, the benefits are greater. So we're going to do some marching in place. And feel free to do this seating. If you want to just have a vigorous march while you're seated, that's fine. Or if you feel more comfortable doing it standing, then that's perfectly fine as well. And we're going to march for about 2 minutes. So here we go. This is when I wish I had some music on. Try to swing your arms nice and big with it. Really pump the arms and the legs to get that heart rate up. And I can see a couple of you guys on my screen and everybody looks like they're putting in nice effort. Looks really good. Good. You can, if you want to, you can kind of move forward and move backward. You don't have to really stay in place. Mix it up a little bit. We're going to go for another minute. Good. Keep marching. And if you were doing this on your own, you could certainly use like soup cans or water bottles in your hands to add a little bit more challenge. And we got about 20 seconds to go. Very good. Almost finished. Perfect. All right. Everybody give themselves a little applause. Feel free to have a drink of water after that. So now we are all warmed up. And we're going to go ahead and move into our strength exercises. And I think it would be best if we started with our ankles, because we can do some of those in sitting. Okay, so we're going to start in sitting with our ankle circles. And from those who took the class in the spring, you'll remember you leg and circle, or you can have just your leg out. I find it easiest to cross my leg, and then I'm circling my foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to go the other direction. You don't want to circle the whole leg like that. Make sure it's just the foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now go the other direction again. Even if your circle doesn't look perfectly smooth, don't worry, you're still getting the benefit of the exercise. 8, 9, 10, and switch directions. 9, 10. Okay, we're going to switch and do that with the other foot. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. This is an easy exercise if you're watching TV in the evenings or waiting for something like at a doctor's office, an easy exercise to sneak in. Switch directions again. Nine, 10, and the other way. 2, 4. Okay, nice job. We know from the research that one of the reasons why people's balance declines as they age is because they lose flexibility in their ankles. So I always encourage people to just have this be part of their regular routine as a way to keep their ankles as flexible and as strong as possible. So let's go ahead and stand up using your chair or your walker for support if you need it. And we're going to do the one where we raise up onto our toes. So we're going to go up on our toes. If this feels really easy for you, feel free to stand on one leg and do it. That's fine.
May I ask a quick question?
Yes?
You have a broken toe. Can you do this?
No, don't do this one with a broken toe. Yeah, you can in sitting, you can raise your foot that's not broken, do that in sitting, just like that. I'm glad you asked that. All right, so I hope everyone kept raising. We probably did 10 there. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to rock back on our heels. And you can do this again in sitting. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Raise up onto your toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time, rock back on the heels. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, the next one that we're going to do, this is a knee strengthening exercise. And for some, this may be a little bit on the easy side, but just bear with me. So all you're doing is you're straightening out the leg and you're holding it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're doing this on your own in between the sessions with the video, feel free to use an ankle weight if this is pretty easy. And I would say like a 2 or 3 pound weight would be appropriate for this one. The reason I want to add this one in because the next one may be a little bit hard for people who have a lot of arthritis in their knees. So I want them to be able to have an alternative. Good, and I think that's 10. And then we're going to do the same on the other leg. And the key with this is nice and slow. And at the speed I'm doing it, you don't want to just be kick, kick, kick when the muscle doesn't really work. 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now if you have a lot of arthritis in your knees and you have pain in your knees when you go from sitting to standing, feel free to skip the next one, but continue doing the one we just did. If your knees can tolerate it, the next one we're going to just stand up and slowly sit back down. Try to not use your arms. If you have to use your arms, that's okay. You can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. This is the one exercise that everyone gets. Anybody over the age of 65, whether they're coming to see me for fall prevention or for other issues, back pain, knee pain, everyone gets this exercise because it really is so beneficial. It's so easy. You don't need special equipment. And it would be the one, if you're only going to do, 2 or 3 exercises from this video in between the sessions, make sure this is one of them. All right, we're going to do this again 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very nice, everybody. That looked, again, from the screens that I can see, everybody looked like they were doing terrific on this. Good. So again, feel free, if you need a water break, feel free to do that. We're going to move on to our hip strengthening exercises. And for these, you need to be standing. But again, hold on to the back of your chair or your walker. And we're going to do the first one, which is a swing out to the side. Now notice how straight my body is. I'm not rocking to the side. You want to keep your body as straight as possible. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the other leg. 1. Now, if you can, like I am, doing it without holding at all, that's really good. Feel free to challenge yourself. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to switch again to the other side. The idea, you don't have to get your leg way up there. You don't gain anything. You do want to move it nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And usually you'll feel it more working the leg that you're standing on than the leg that you're swinging. And that's okay, because the leg that's you're standing on is doing just as much of the work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And I hope everybody's okay to keep standing. The next one is kind of the cousin of the one we just did. You're going to hold on to your chair and you're going to swing your leg to the back. You see how my knee is staying straight and my back is staying straight. I'm not rocking forward. And your motion may only be a little bit. You may only be able to go a couple inches. That's okay. Good. We're going to switch to the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's do the left leg again 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the right leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if anybody has ankle weights at home and they want to do that exercise with weight on their own, that's perfectly fine. Again, a 2 to 3 pound weight would be an appropriate weight to put on the ankle for that particular exercise. Next time when we meet, I'm imagining it's going to be virtual again, but I'll at least show everybody how to use the exercise bands to provide some resistance. Had we met in person, I would have brought everybody a band, but we'll see if I can at least show people in case they have bands of their own. All right, so we have done some nice warm up now, and we've done some strengthening of all the muscle groups in the legs that are responsible for balance. So now we need to kind of put it together and challenge the brain balance centers in order to make our balance better. So we're going to do some different exercises for the next 20 minutes or so. And the first one we're going to do is a sidestepping. Now, if you are using a walker, feel free to hold onto your walker, take a step to the side, and then back to the other side. If you're not using a walker, you're going to kind of follow me, and you can just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Make your steps nice and big. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. Keep going. Nice big steps. Good, keep going. Now, if you're feeling like that you're more advanced and you want to make that even a little bit harder, you can cross one leg in front of the other.
And you haven't had a hip replacement.
If you want to, you can just stay with the side steps or just stay behind the walker. You can do what we call a grapevine or a braided side step. Good. Good. Back to the other side. Good. One more time. And back. Okay. Very good. Now we're going to do 2 different marches in place. And you can do these standing, holding onto the chair. You can even do these seated. So I'm going to show you the seated version first. When you do it seated, you're not getting as much of a balance benefit, but you are getting a core strengthening benefit. The first one we're going to do is we're going to raise opposite arm and leg. And again, I'm going to show people in standing as well, because most of us are going to do this in standing. Sorry, let me get my arms in the shot. So seated, it's opposite arm and leg, like so. We'll do that one, and then we're going to do same arm and leg. So most of us will do this in standing. So let's start with opposite arm. Good. Nice and slow. Good. And see, I'm bringing my knee up pretty high. Good. 4, 5, 6. The slower you do these, the harder it is from a balance standpoint. And 10. Good. Kind of shake it out a minute. And now the next one is a little bit harder, and that's the same arm and leg. So same arm, same leg. 2, 3. The higher you lift your knee, the more challenging, and the slower, the more challenging. Good, a couple more, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, perfect. And while we're up standing, now we're going to practice just standing on one leg. If you can do this without holding on to anything, that's great, but it's still beneficial if you're holding on to the chair or your walker. So we're going to pick one leg up. We're going to hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can't hold it for the 5, if you went like this, just like 1 and then that, still beneficial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you feel your foot doing this rolling, that's okay. That means that the brain is working to make the adjustments to keep you balanced. Good. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If everybody over the age of 65 could practice standing on one leg as part of their daily routine, we would see far less falls in our geriatric population. 5. And if you're doing this at home, you can mix it up and do it on different floor surfaces. It's a little bit easier on a firm, like hardwood or tile floor, than it would be on a carpet. If you had one of those soft mats, like in your kitchen in front of your stove, like those squishy mats, that's even a little bit harder to do a single leg balance on one of those. Good, let's do one more time on the other leg. Perfect. Okay. Now, another way to challenge the balance is to try to narrow our base of support. So we're going to try what we call a tandem stance, where we put one foot in front of the other. If this is really hard, you can do what we call a semi-tandem. So the foot is almost in front, but a little bit off to the side. And so we're going to try, put one foot in front of the other. And now again, if you need to hold your chair, that's fine. If you say, nope, I can stand here like this for 10, 15 seconds, you'll feel your feet do that wobble. That's good. Good. I feel my own feet getting their work out here. And let's try it with the other foot forward. Sometimes people really want to practice this without holding, but they really aren't quite sure that they can keep their balance. Doing it in a corner where you have walls behind you and on the side is a good place to practice, where you can do it safely without holding on. Good. Now we're going to switch feet again. Now, if you're really super duper and you say, I could do this for a minute and this is not challenging me at all, you could close your eyes. I'm not recommending that. That gets way harder. But if you're looking for a way to challenge yourself even more, that would be a way to challenge. Okay, good. And let's switch the legs again. Good. And one more time, left foot in, or whichever foot you started. Good, and the other foot in front. Okay, nice job, everybody. Everybody take a break a minute. People need to drink some water. We're going to do a few more balance exercises. All right, I think we did this one in the spring last time. And this one is called the clock step. And the reason that I give it is because it gets the brain used to reacting and stepping in different directions, which if you think about, if you got bumped into by another person, if you tripped over something, the way that we keep from falling is we take a step to catch ourselves. So I'm walking along, I trip on that uneven side. We'll need to be able to put my foot out quick enough to keep me from falling. Same as if I'm reaching up to the ceiling to change a light bulb, I lose my balance backwards. I need to be able to take a step to the back to keep myself from falling. So what we're going to do for this one, everybody stand up. Again, you can hold on to a chair or walker. And imagine that you're standing in the center of a clock. Now I'm going to call out first, and you're going to take a step with your right leg, and you're going to tap the 2, and then you're going to come back to the middle, or the 3, or the 4. So the numbers like 7 through 11, you're going to do with your left leg, and 1 through 5, you're going to do with the right leg. 12 or 6, you could do either leg, whichever you prefer. And you can make your steps small if that's all you're comfortable with, or if you really want to challenge yourself, you could take nice giant steps in each direction. Okay, so I'm just moving my stool so I don't trip on it. All right, so here we go. We're going to go to 1 and 3, 8, 4, 2, 7. Elf, 6, 10, 3, 11, 5, 1, 3, 9, 7, 2, 12, 4, 8, 10, 6, and 12. Very good. I hope everybody felt pretty steady doing those steps in different directions. Sometimes if we're seeing people in the clinic, the backwards ones are where they don't feel so comfortable. So if you notice, like, boy, I really didn't feel comfortable stepping back or certain directions, that might be an indicator that you would want to reach out to your physician about maybe getting a referral for therapy to see us in the clinic. All right, we're going to do 2 more exercises. And these are kind of combined cool down, but still balance exercises. So we're going to do the standing twist first. We're going to stand with your feet apart. You're going to bring your arms out to the side and you're going to twist. Come back, bring your arms down. So that was 1. Twist to the same side. 2. And notice how my head turns with the twist. 3. Like I'm trying to look at the wall behind me. 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Good. All right, let's go to the other direction. 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. 5. And 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. And I should have mentioned at the beginning of that one is perfectly fine to do seated as well. You still get some benefit from that if you didn't feel comfortable without holding to do that twist. Or it's fine to even twist a little quarter turn if you didn't feel comfortable going all the way twisting behind your body. The same for the next one. We're going to reach up and down and up, down, 3. Don't want to do this one too fast. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Beautiful. Okay, I hope everyone's doing okay. I've got one exercise left for you. And this is kind of a move that I'm adapting from yoga. We're going to do a warrior pose. We're just going to stand out to the side and hold that. Feel free to hold onto your chair or your walker if you need to. Good. And you do want to have that front leg bent. And come back. Let's do that again to the same side. Hold it. Good. Do another one to the right. And one more. And then to the other side. Nice warrior. Good. 2. 3. 4. One more. Okay. Excellent. Well, I hope everybody felt like they got a little exercise. I know I did. And so we have a little time left. So if anyone has any questions or comments.
Thank you. I wanted to briefly jump in. You mentioned those exercise bands. We have a few of those extra TheraBand exercise bands in the office from our summer classes. So anyone's interested in having one that doesn't have one already, feel free just to send me an email or respond to the post-event email, and I can work out a way to get you one of our few extras. But then I wanted to open up for questions as well. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I do have another question. I noticed that all the exercises are done multiple times on one side rather than alternating. Does that make a difference in the impact?
So you could alternate as long as there wasn't too much time in between. We typically will do one side to make sure that there's kind of that constant repetition to challenge the muscle enough. So you wouldn't want to do one and then to the other side because you give the one side too much rest.
Okay.
That's when we do the strengthening, we try to stick to the one side for at least a set of 10 before we would go to the other side.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? You're welcome to unmute yourself and ask, or just put them in the chat for me to ask.
What is your phone number?
So if you need to reach me at the clinic, 202-375-7690. That would get you directly to my desk. So if you had any questions, you know, especially if it's related to getting into therapy, feel free to give me a call.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions from the chat. Someone asked, does it help to breathe in and out at different points of the exercise to sort of match the breathing with the exercise?
It is important that you are breathing while you're exercising. Not so much that you're inhaling as you're doing, you know, the up or the down, but you do want to make sure that you are breathing. And that's pretty common that we see people have a tendency to hold their breath while they're doing exercises. And a nice little trick to get around that is to count the repetitions out loud. Because if you're vocalizing, you have to breathe. You can't produce sound if you're not breathing in. So counting the repetitions out loud, just make sure that you're breathing if you have that habit of holding your breath.
Someone asked, how many times a week do you recommend practicing these exercises?
So things like standing on one leg, ankle circles, standing up and down from a chair, I would recommend every day. General strengthening, like the ones raising up onto your toes or swinging the hips out to the side or to the back. If you're doing those 3 to 4 times a week, you're doing fine. But like those 3, standing on one leg, circling your ankles, and the sit to stands, I would try to work those into your day every day.
Great. There's a question here I can answer. It's not a weekly class, it's a monthly class. So the next one will be October 13th, and there'll be 4 of them in the fall. But there's already 4 previous classes on our YouTube page, and this 5th one will join it. So you can do all 5 of those classes as often as you like. And I'll make sure to get those links out to everyone in the post-class email. So you can work through those 5 classes often you like, but the next live class is October 13th. There's another question. Could you say a little bit about what kind of bands you need?
So the bands come in different colors. Depending on the brand, they're either primary colors or they're slightly off primary colors. Typically the lighter colors are less resistant. So like yellow and orange are at the lower resistance level. Green and blue or maroon are higher resistance. Red tends to be kind of right in the middle. So I would say start off with the lighter colors. Don't immediately go for green or blue or maroon. Those are much more resistance.
Yeah, so the brands are different, but any of the sort of loops that are stretchy, they're all pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Is it loop? I just want to follow up because my question was partly what I have is loop bands. Is that what we need?
Yeah, so and I will definitely demonstrate with bands for the next class, but yes, it should be a loop.
Okay,
So if you just have a straight piece, I'll show you how to tie it around the legs so that it's a loop that's about the size of a dinner plate. That's kind of a good way to know, like, is my loop too big or too small?
Thank you. There's one more question here that I can answer. Yes, you do need to register every class. I'll make sure the link to register for the next series of classes is also in that post-event email with the YouTube links that will go out tomorrow. You can also register through our website, fbwevillage.org. I'll make sure the next 3 classes are posted on there tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that email at some point tomorrow with YouTube information and the links to register for the next upcoming classes. One last question. When bending forward, is it important to bend from the hip and not the waist?
I assume you're referring kind of to that last one that we did. For this class, if we're doing it for a balance benefit, we want to bend the head forward and back. Now, some people may experience dizziness with that. If that happens, then absolutely stop. We don't want to produce vertigo and have people lose their balance. But we do want to bend the head forward and up. So it should be coming from the head for that one.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to join us again. I'm glad these classes are up and running again. If anyone has any last questions, we have a minute or 2 here, but I hope to see everyone in our next program in October.
So nice to see everybody. I hope everyone had a good summer and is staying healthy, and I look forward to seeing everyone in October.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.